Okay, well, hopefully I'm live. I'm connected to Wi-Fi instead of my hardwire. Been dealing with some hardwire issues for the last 2 days now, hoping to get that resolved. So if there's buffering, if it's slow, I do apologize for that. We're working out the kinks here with all the computer stuff. Let's see, let's get it on the right screen here first of all. Let's see here what screen we're on. Display 2, not that one. Display 4. Alright, that's the one I want. There we go. Alright. Well, I hope you guys traded well yesterday. We've got just a few minutes before the open. Looks like 2.5 minutes. Let me see. I don't think we have any economic data other than what came out. We've got, looks like preliminary wholesale inventories at 9, but then it looks like the employment situation came out at 7:30 Central Time. Just trying to pull up that. And we've got on our screen here the 15-minute and the 1-minute. We're at now the green and red lines, the dotted lines, denote the overnight high and the low. So good amount of movement, obviously, in the last few days. Almost a 200-point push, about 180 or so, 170. Well, I ordered the new computer. Hey, morning, Micah. It should be in today sometime. I've got to be here to sign for it, though. Um, so hopefully that happens, and then we'll get the internet hardwire taken care of, and we'll be off to the races. Be good to go. Yeah, even right now I'm showing that it might be experiencing some buffering. So hopefully I don't get too far behind you guys. If I do, I apologize. I'm just going to do my thing. We'll let the market set up. But got next week that I'll be trading. And then the week after that, I'll be on vacation. So I'll be away for a week. But I did set up a Facebook group, just No FOMO Trader, for anyone of you guys who want to continue to just chat or, talk about ideas, things that you're seeing as the day sets up and unfolds. So that's what we're looking at. Looks like we had a pretty good spike or like a flush down on the 15-minute. In the overnight session. So that would have happened at 7:30 when that employment report came out. And we'll see if we can reclaim this, like, I don't know, probably 84 to like 3,900 and see if we can get back up in there. So let's see what we do on the open here. Oh, let's see if I can. Wrong one. There we go. There's that ugly mug right there. Oops. All right, so we've got our opening range. Let me mark that. First minute of trade. Selling off a little bit. think you got the camera. Hopefully you can see me there. I adjusted it. Back in action. Hey Greg, how's it going? So as you guys know, I didn't trade yesterday. I was having internet issues, and then once a month on Thursday morning, I've got like a kind of like a mastermind group. It's me and some buddies. They're all self-employed business owners, and we just get together and chat and talk, and it's always really good. Had a nice time yesterday, and even today. I don't know if I'm gonna do much. We'll see. Still having some internet issues. I'm hooked up to Wi-Fi right now. I'm not hardwired in, so hopefully the buffering isn't too terrible on your end, but if it is, I do apologize. Yeah. used to be, people would, every now and then people would say, boy, you really look good for your age. And now I just feel like I look my age. Maybe I even look bad for my age. So life will do that to you. Kids and operations and all the things, but such is life, right? Nothing to complain about here. Glad I'm still kicking. Like my father-in-law says, I'm still kicking, but not too high. Or I'll say, I'm so old I don't even buy green bananas. He's got a bunch of them. He's like 82. So he's getting up there. Still working the farm every day though, man. That guy is a hard worker. Tough old farm boy. Tough old guy. So yeah, it looks like we've got some kind of number, like preliminary number at 9, so another 25 minutes or so, and that'll be it. Hey L10, good morning. Thought it was LDAs. Or if you're L10, maybe I could call you the DS. How about that? Doing good, not too shabby. Just troubleshooting some internet things. But it's alright. Let's see the old 84 here. I'm not in a hurry to do anything. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm on Wi-Fi and it's like super slow, the speed of it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So yesterday, we just out of the gate blasted off. Let's look at the 5-minute here. This might paint a better picture. I wonder if we don't push lower here. Feels like we will. So let's look at the 5-minute. I'll just expand this screen, maximize sell. Yeah, it feels kind of weak to me. So yesterday, right out of the chute, here's our 5-minute on the left side. Just right out of the gate, boom, drives it up, hangs out for quite a while. Comes to about half back and then just resumes. On those days where you get like a few 5-minute bars that are just green, 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 and you come to about half back, a lot of times you can expect just like a drifting off into the netherworld, right? Like just kind of a come up, does this thing during lunch, and then just continues to drift higher. So were I in front of the screen, that probably would have been one that I would have thought, okay, big drive up, like big push. Let's look for longs. And you had to be patient on that one. You had to wait a while. But wasn't a huge push up higher, but it was enough. So I think the overnight session from yesterday too was like higher. So it just blasted off, stayed high, and that was about it. 88 half. I like that one, Micah. I might have to join you. Kind of be wrong above like 94, I'd say. Let's see how they treat it up there. Seven. Yeah, Greg, when you consider how much time yesterday we spent between roughly 3,800 and 3,900, it's a good amount of the day. Where's yesterday's close? Let's see. Closed at, looks like 3,900 is the close. I'm going to watch this one here. I'm looking for a short, but I want to see it come up and fail first. 100. Absolutely okay. That's good. I'm moderately fantastic. Okay to me just kind of denotes like, I'm so-so. I see. I think that's what it is. I was wondering if they'd sell them at 37. But there's so much kind of congestion up in this, up in that area that I wonder how far if they take it lower, like how far they take it lower, how much. So let's watch if 97 holds. I'm going to sell some right here. Might try to add a little bit if we get up like a pop a little bit higher. Whoop. Didn't, come on. Yeah, that's fun. Okay. Alright, I'm filled there. But that's kind of funky just with my internet stuff. L10 going long. diez going long. Ooh. Not out yet. I'm still holding, but let's see what we get here. 5 minute, pretty quick reversal there. Much above like 02, 04, I'm gonna be out. A little aggressive on that one, I will say. A little bit much. So it came up to that 97. I was watching 97 earlier, and they popped it lower, and then ran it down to 92. I was short at like 93. Well, I am still short at 93, but we'll see how they treat it up here. Got another like 40 seconds on the. I'm in 60% total of what I'll allow myself to trade. And again, my fills are, I don't know, man. I might just have to sit on my hands today. Fills are not too good. What's up the old phone? Well, again, I'm sorry for the buffering. It looks like every time that the bulls try to, well, the bears try to push it down, the bulls just buy it back up. But I'd like to see like 98, this 98 level for it to hold below that. Let's see if we can't come back into range here. My average price on this guy is now 96. I did add some up here. See if they pull it back in. I'm gonna buy just a little bit here at 92. So average price is 96 on this guy. I bought a sixth of it at 92. I don't know what, there we go. Bought a little bit more at 91. Funky stuff. Let's see what we get here. Just confirming the order on my phone. Again, my internet's kind of funky. So I'm still in 2/3. Average price is 96. Scaled out of it a little bit at 92 to 91. Again, I do apologize for the buffering. Point, and we'll see what we get. See what we get. We get what we get. We don't throw a fit. Pretty decent reversal on the 5-minute bar here. So I'll try to hold this thing, especially being that we got news coming out in another 10 minutes. Be nice to see a little bit of a flush lower. See if we can't try to test like mid 70s, high 70s. So here's our 5-minute. Let me just I'm gonna buy back just a little bit at 84. So now I'm just in a very small amount with a runner on right here. And that's it. That's all she wrote. Easy peasy. 95, short 95 with no fill. As I just got on, where am I at? 10% of my original. Where are we at? Let me maximize this sell. There we go. Okay, here's a 5-minute. This might paint a better picture. Little whoop-de-doo here. So pushed up, came up. I was just kind of looking at, like, considering like all the area that we spent up here the other day, like congestion area. With 97 was my original spot where I thought, man, I might like to try a short up there. Came up and then quickly rejected, so I got filled at 93. And then coming up here, I added some more with the average price of 96, thinking that, this is like a good kind of congestion range. 5-minute looking nice and weak here, so it might be that I just pull out of a little bit more of this one right here. So I've got 10% on. Maybe I will try to buy a little bit back right here and then just leave on 5%. All right, so I'm filled at 77. So now I've just got on 5% of my original trade, and I'll see if we get lucky. Although, you never know. Never know, right? Anything can happen. Something will happen. That's it. And yeah, there's some mornings you just every day's different, right? All right, so this last little 5%, maybe I'll get rid of this. We'll look at one screen. the last little 5%, I've just got a stop way up here. So again, I've mentioned to you guys I want to get better at like trailing stops. I don't want to give back too much. If the trend is down, I don't want to get shaken out of it. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what we do here at this 70. This 70 here. Let me pull this screen into play. So this is the scene of the crime. I might just exit this thing here. If we look at, let me expand this. Here's our 15-minute, kind of a scene of the crime play where we had the big push. Well, actually, the scene of the crime was probably getting short up here. We had the news come out at 7:30, right? So we're here hanging out, looking like it's going to push higher. Wham! They just slam it down really quickly, about 30 points. And it was, it took, I don't know, maybe it took 15 minutes to do that. So good push down. We just came back up to that level. So that's what I call the scene of the crime. Like coming back up to this area where some guys definitely, like the guys who stayed in there, they are hurting. So you better believe, like if there were some guys long here trying to cute before the news, that anyone who got long here and then held it, when it comes back, they're probably going to bail. Say, you know what, like I'm out of this thing, I'm going to sell it, I don't want it right here. So now we're right back testing lower. So I feel like it's anyone's guess now what we can do from here. So we'll see. Oh, to have better internet service. Fiber is on its way. Like Santa. Christmas in July. Oh, I got a good story I want to share with you guys. We'll let the news come out. Actually, maybe I'll share it before the news. Let's try to get a feel here for where we could go. Let me choose a level real quick. Yesterday, push up. Looking for a level. All right, another 2.5 minutes until we get some news coming out. We'll be wrapping up. I do apologize for, all the buffering, dealing with internet stuff. I will have it rectified soon, although I am at the mercy at my internet provider here. Something like bulls wanted above like 84. Waiting on the news. Waiting on the news. Well, the story I was going to share, I was talking to, so I'm still short from above, um, short with an average price of 96. I'm holding just 5% of my original trade. Got it a sum at 92, then 88, 84, and then it was either 78 or like somewhere down here. I think it was 78. Um, so I'm holding a small amount, still short, seeing if we can't run a little bit more and push this thing lower. And that'll probably be it for me today. So the story I was going to share, I was talking to a buddy, him and his wife and his family. They were overseas. He's big into hiking and trekking, and he had done some like missions work and like it's like in Asia, and he's hiking along for quite a while. I was like, man, down in the distance I could see like a camp. He said I could tell it was a military base, so I wanted to go and get directions from them. And so he did that, and he had already lived there for like 10 years, so very familiar with the people, the customs, like what's appropriate, what's not, the territory, and all that stuff. So he comes up to the military camp, and the guys who receive him are shocked. They're like, how did you get here? Like how did you arrive the way that you just hiked? How did you come here? And he said, well, I just hiked through, me and my companion, my friend. And I guess the military guys told him, they said, this whole field has landmines in it, and somehow miraculously you just made it here without getting blown up. So here's my buddy, I can't remember if it was Laos or Thailand, where it was, or it might have been on the border somewhere there, but he's unaware that he's walking through a minefield. And he's telling this story with me and my wife, and there's a bunch of other friends, and his wife is listening, and they've been married, 30 years. They got a good relationship, and they've been through it all, really. But just like takes the air out of your lungs when you hear that my buddy was, and this is a long time ago, that he's walking through a minefield and he's not even aware of it. And somehow, by the grace of God, he arrives alive at the military base, where then they inform him, like, hey, like, I'm going to lower my stop here. I'm going to put it right above this 82. So if we come up there, I'm going to be out of it. And again, that's just 5% of the trailer that I had on from 96. So feels like we'll pop it higher. And if we do, that's fine. I just don't want to give back any more on it. So, all right, on that one, I'm out. That was a really nice little trade there. Got involved the short side and then just scaled out as we came down. And we'll see what we do from here. But anyways, this story about, my buddy walking through that minefield, just think he walked through the field totally unaware that there's mines there. He makes it alive, and he'll never do that again. And again, I just thought, how many of us with trading was that the scenario where maybe you start out, and you put some trades on, and oh man, I made some money. This is pretty easy. Just click, 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 buy, sell, sell. I'm in, I'm out. I don't get burned too bad. This is great. I love it. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make millions. And at that point, we're naive. We're not understanding like, hey, like there's great potential here. But there's also the potential to blow up your account, to just step on a mine and be done. So it just made me think how much we need to be cautious and aware how there is great reward with trading, but there's also great risk, especially when we don't follow our process well. And so I guess to make the analogy better, it would be like if he walked through a minefield, he was unaware, and every now and then there'd be like a mine where he would win, $50,000 or something like that. He'd step on something, a box would pop, like, oh, there's cold hard cash right there. The analogy isn't perfect. Most analogies aren't, but it just made me think of how we don't know what we don't know, and when we're trading and starting out, there's just a lot that we are not aware of. So that's story number one, or thought number one. I think I'll post something here. Thank you, Micah. This is your captain speaking. Sorry about that. Just rambling on. No, I was just apologizing for the delay. I'm watching on my screen, and I put a little note up here, and I'm still not seeing it, so goodness sake. So please don't be taking trades based off of what I say, because the lag is so great. However, the internet is getting worked on. It looks like it's not as bad as I thought. All right. Mr. Elton, the 10. Dude, I gotta call you that, Elton. I gotta call you the 10. Can't be El 10. It can be El 10. Oh, let's see. Well, but oh yeah, so the computer's on its way. I've got to be here to sign for it today. May not be here the whole day, but I'm excited to get it. Should be running really smoothly, and then should be off to the races. Working on getting my videos, but the wheels of progress grind slowly, don't they? Well, let's see if we get a rotational day or what we're doing here. We've pushed up so much the last few days. Yeah, I'm gonna just move this for right now. Remove it. There we go. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get, I don't know if the whole day is going to be rotational, but if we do get a low rotation to the upside, reason being is like looking at our daily chart here. Sure. Looking at our daily, hopefully there's sound. Test 1 2. We've had this push up, decent push here. I would think that what we saw earlier might just be like a rotation. So we'll see. We always will see, won't we? And again, if we look at our 15-minute, let me blow this guy up, or increase it rather. So the 15-minute, boom, right out of the gate yesterday. 5-minute looks somewhat similar, just off to the races. Bulls had to buy it, just had to get in. It would make sense that they would defend that into the 70s there. Here's the overnight low. Here's where we pushed off from yesterday at the open. So that would make sense. Bulls want it now, I think, above 84. We'll see if they can kind of reclaim that. And maybe they continue and push a bit higher. Hey, Micah, thanks so much for that message on Messenger yesterday. I really, really appreciate it, man. I'm glad that you've got your legs back under you and making some forward progress, making some movement. That's the main thing. There was something I wanted to read today that just a thought. It's not 5 pages or anything. I read it the other day, but the author just says, one could argue that we win whenever we advance down the road to achievement. One could argue that we win whenever we advance down the road to achievement. So I think the question you've got to ask yourself is, has there been forward movement? If you're someone who's trading or is aspiring to trade and you're not yet where you want to be, which who is really, I think even the best traders think like, I want to get better. I want to improve. I want to hone this skill and this craft. I want to know thyself and be someone who masters what I feel and my stop losses and all that stuff. And I think that's a great question to ask is, have you made forward movement? My wife and I, there have been seasons where whether it's with work or with family or relationships or you name it, satisfaction in life, all the things, where you feel like, man, I'm doing so much and I feel like I'm just barely treading water. But I think a lot of times, even if you're treading water, there's like, you're hanging in there, there's forward movement. And there's other times where the wind is against your back, you're cruising like right along, everything's clicking, and the forward movement is very evident. And you'd say, oh, there's a ton of this forward movement, like things are just going so well. But even when we're struggling, even when we're like striving and pushing through, a good thing to ask is, has there been forward movement? Am I making progress? Am I still getting wrapped up in the same mistakes when it comes to trading? Or am I learning? Am I learning how to even, lose well when I have a stop in place? Am I respecting that? Am I learning from my mistakes? Is the definition of insanity, right, is doing the same thing over and over and over, yet expecting different results. That is the definition. So hopefully you guys are go log in, go long. This is Kumar. So let's see if we don't rotate back up. It feels like we will. So again, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll be in front of the screens next week. But the week after, starting on the week after next, I'll be on vacation. So I've got a little Facebook group that I just put up. That way, if any of you guys want to, you can, communicate, talk on there. I will say sometimes less is more. So I'll say that subtly. With my own trading, I've realized that less is more, at least as it relates to indicators and things that I'm watching, and probably even actual trades that I get involved in. So if you're on the screen and you're just like blowing stuff up, like I'd say less is more, If you got something important to say, that's great. Love to hear it. If you got a strong conviction about a level, that's cool. Or even a trade that you're in. Like what your levels are, what you're looking at. That's helpful. I welcome that. I know Tech T111 had a nice one yesterday. I refer to my buddy Brendan from time to time, but I've learned some good stuff from him. Let me pull up the 5-minute. He only watches the 5-minute when he's trading. We'll look at yesterday's price action real quick. And he studies this guy named Al Brooks. Interesting cat, this Al Brooks guy. He's like a human encyclopedia as it relates to trading and bars and statistics and all that stuff. Just pretty interesting. But I saw this big bar up yesterday. I thought Brandon's going to be looking to buy, or Brendan, he's going to be looking where he can get in at a pullback and then go long. And Tech, I really appreciate your patience. I saw yesterday how you posted long at like 38.84 and then out at 39.94 for a plus 10. And I admire that patience. That's something that I am as traders, I feel like you never arrive. You always want to get better. You always want to improve. And to just sit and be patient, to know your level, to have conviction that you're not going to miss the move, and then to execute. That's something that I'd like to do more and more of. I will say too that there are days or mornings where there's just levels that make sense earlier. So today, there's some mornings where I'll have to sit here for an hour or more before I take anything with conviction. Or there's some days where I'm trading within the first 25 minutes and I feel like I probably should have just waited for something better to come along where I've got real conviction about. But this morning, the levels that I was looking at, and I don't do really much pre-market work. I'm not like sitting in front of the charts for an hour beforehand. I'll usually just come in maybe 10 minutes before, mark my overnight high, green dotted line, mark my overnight low. Once the market opens, I'll mark the opening range, and I'll look at what price did overnight. So again, going back to let me expand to sell here and show you that trade I took and the reason I was on it. And I should have explained it more as I was getting into it, but I was watching the overnight and saw the dump of price that we just had when the news came out at 7:30 Central. So again, anyone who got long here, if they were caught in this thing, if they were still holding it, probably when it came back, or if it came back to this area, that you'd probably dump it again. That's one that I call the scene of the crime. So the crime took place at 7:30, just a big elevator down, and then popped back up to it, came and pushed lower, and that was the trade. That was the setup. So that one, I was just fortunate that within the first 25 minutes of the day, there was something that came along that I had real conviction about. And being that I only traded for the first 2 or 2.5 hours of the day, I might get another trade today. I might not. I did consider trying to go long down here, but didn't do it, which is okay. You're not going to catch every single move. I'd rather, again, going back to the whole less is more theory, I'd rather have some strong conviction about the trades that I'm going to take versus just throwing anything against the wall and seeing if it sticks. So, thoughts for the day. All right, pushing up a bit higher here. Going to try to take out the opening range, which I think seems feasible. Tech T, if you're watching, have you done anything this morning? right. Bulls in the driver's seat. See how far they push it. Let's see how far the party goes. Five-minute looking pretty strong. Micah, what's the value area high from yesterday? About 39.02 maybe? Yeah, this 5-minute really just pushing higher. Oh, three quarter. Bulls wanting it. Here's our 5-minute. Right up here at overnight high. Here's the overnight high. So Bulls with the... there's a little bit of the flush lower. And then Bulls just been strong, pushing it up. pushing higher. So we've got our initial balance, got our IB, got our A and B period. And again, the market, I've heard a great trader say, the market's just like a big loaf of bread. It's just a gigantic loaf of bread. And it's my job to just take out some pieces of it, like take out some crumbs. And, a crumb has a connotation of being a small amount. Well, relative to trillions and trillions of dollars, if you got a loaf of bread that's big, you take out a crumb, you can still have a fortune. So, there's a lot of people who might watch the market and think, oh, I need to be long, I need to be in, I need to be out, I need to be active, I need to be a buyer, a seller. It's okay to sit on your hands, right? Like, if you got conviction, trade. If you don't, if you're waiting for more data, if you're waiting for more time, for more things to develop, then give it a minute. Like, something will come along. You'll see something that makes sense to you. So again, the market is just like a big... Why didn't I take the trade up? I had a good trade shorting. I thought about going up, but I didn't do it. And in hindsight, it looks great. And so I didn't take the trade up, but I will say that I did scale out at 76 when we got down to this level, just because I thought, you know what, looking at the 15-minute chart and the overnight chart, where I mentioned earlier, look like that might be it as far as for the bears. That might be as far as they push that thing. And then I also, my last little runner where I had 5% of it on, wanted to see if we could push lower. I just put it right at this level here. So once we popped up and then came down and then started to show strength, I thought, let me just put that trailing stop right there and be done with it. So again, if I catch one good move in a day, like, that's fine with me. That was that first move that came. That was one I just had a lot of conviction about. And so maybe, I'm sure, maybe there's someone here who took a trade on the lows. That's great. I just didn't take that one. No reason, really. Or maybe the reason is that I booked some nice profits on the first one. And if anything, maybe I should have went in small and stuck my nose out a little bit. But I didn't. So it's all right. Again, I'm not looking to catch every move. Like, there's not millions, but there's probably thousands and thousands of moves that happen every day within the stock market. When you consider bonds and equities and futures and options and all that stuff, there's just, there's a lot of things to do. And you're not going to catch every move. What matters is that you have conviction for the move that you're on, that you know where you're right and where you're wrong, you know where your targets are, and then you execute. So that's my 2 cents at least. Kumar, what are your thoughts? Kumar, you're pretty active on the key. Is your keyboard smoking there, buddy? You're pretty active. Just imagine, right? Just going at record speed, quantum speed. I will say that is a good point, Kumar, that math is the common denominator for all the different languages, all the different peoples, that there is something that unites us with math. So that's a good thought. It's interesting. Well, let's see if the bulls push it up here, or if they stall out and get a little bit of a retracement, a little bit of a pullback. Seems pretty strong. And again, how strong for how long, that's anyone's guess. So looking at the 1 minute here, we've come up to the overnight high, pulled off, come up again, pulled off, and now we're just bumping it again. Looks like we could push higher and continue on still. 5 minutes still looking decent there. Nope. Yes. All right. Pushing higher still. I don't. Antares, is that how you say it? Antares 4. Did you happen to get long down below, or did you get short? Have you had any trades with conviction? Just curious. Looking for yesterday's high. Yesterday's high is right around 15, it looks like. 14 quarter. So we're almost there. So again, here's our 15 minute. Let me expand this. And, truthfully, Antares asking why I didn't take the move up. There's some days where if I get one good trade in and I see it, that's it for me. Like, I'm done. I know I've mentioned before that with me, like, less is more. Less is more regarding my charts. I don't use much else than what you see here. I just look at the daily, the 15, the 5 minute, and the 1 minute. I keep it pretty simple. And then I trade the first 2 to 2.5 hours of the day, and then I'm done. I'm just most fresh in the morning. Not to say there's not good trades that happen in the afternoon. There is. Just personally, afternoon and later in the day, not all the time. Sometimes there's some really nice setups that I see. It just clicks. It makes sense. But usually I'm fresh in the morning. So if I've put a good trade on and I really like it, I'm pleased with it, sometimes I'll just wrap it up. So it's not to say I won't put on like another trade today, but that's just how I function. And again, everyone's different, right? Like and that's, I think, what makes the world of trading so fascinating is that there's guys who scalp, they're looking for a point and they're in for 2 seconds. There's other guys who hold for 6 months. There's a buddy of mine who first taught me about options trading back in 2014, who he does options, but then he also does a lot of spreads between commodities. He'll look at divergence plays where if he's looking at cattle, he's looking at the relationship of like June cattle versus August. And if there's a big disparity between the two, he'll short the one and he'll buy the other and look for a mean reversion with that trade. So it's neat how there's so many different flavors, so many different options that are available to express your hypothesis, your thesis for what you think could happen in the market. It's kind of neat. It's really neat, I think. Get a little bit of movement here now. Nothing too crazy. So let's see if today is in fact rotational. Maybe the bulls pushed a little bit higher. The question is, if they do push it higher, how high do they take it? But I wouldn't be surprised if we rotate a little bit. We'll see. $16.12. Antares 4. I bought 16.12. What level did you buy at? I don't know what. Something 12. Unless it's your time frame where you're at, like your local time. So maybe you got involved around like 38, 83, or 84, I'm guessing. Maybe that was it. Yeah, 1612 time. What was your level? So it was, I'm guessing it was around like 3884, 3883. Yeah, 84. Yeah, that's a great trade. And again, I mean, there's a reason where I had my stop here, thinking that we could push up. Well done. Good deal, man. Yeah, especially with that pop up, that nice long bar on the 1 minute, get that thrust up, and then you buy there and figure like, okay, I'm probably wrong if we're below 78. Certainly if we're and up below like 76. So that's a great trade. I like that one. Good job. Got just another minute till we get a new 15-minute bar, and a new 5-minute bar, and of course a new 1-minute bar. Oh yeah, sure, Antares. Antares, ask away, man. I appreciate you being so polite. Absolutely. That we're here to learn. We're here to glean insight from others and learn and increase our capabilities as traders. Ask away. Again, I do apologize for buffering. I have been dealing with some internet things, so I'm sorry about that. Here's a Facebook group that I've got. You guys are welcome to join that. It's little. I just made it primarily for the fact that I'm going to be on vacation the week after next, and thought if there's anyone who wants to communicate, keep dialogue open, you're more than welcome to on there. Let's see. Battle zone, we'll call it 12. So we'll see if we pop higher and then pull back in and get under 12. Antares, let me look at your question in just a minute here. Let's look at some levels here. Oh, Antares, since when? Probably a few months now. I did it just originally so that I can watch playback of my own trades, how athletes will watch themselves compete and perform, and they'll see things that when they watch it that they probably didn't see when they were actually in the act of performing or competing. So I thought that it would be neat to say, you know what, let me place my trades, talk through my levels. And even when there was no one on here, when no one was watching, it was fun. I would just kind of announce what I was seeing. And I realized that I'm much more of a verbal processor than I originally thought. And it's been helpful as well as I'm looking through trades and verbally, mentioning, oh, I'm seeing this, but this is throwing me off a little bit. I'm not sure. It'll give me pause, or at least make me stop and think as to, okay, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? What's your levels? So it's been a good kind of accountability for me. I do have a web domain. I just don't have anything up and running yet. So yeah, I'm in the process of just. Was telling the guys earlier, I had a good computer, but it's 6 years old, so just got a newer computer and got a website, working on some videos, some like intro videos to YouTube and all that stuff, but it's going to be a little bit of time before I get the website up and go. That'll probably be a while. But really just wanted to form a community of traders, guys who like watching the markets, where we can learn and grow from one another. And there's certain trades that I really like and that I'm good at, and then there's other styles that other people like and that they're good at. I think, it'd be great if we could talk about trades that we have, strong conviction about, like an A setup or a B setup. So essentially just the fact that the thought that there's strength in numbers and there's strength when there's accountability. So yeah, obviously not a big group, but anyone is always welcome to participate, to join. Again, sometimes less is more. Not that I don't want to hear your thoughts, and there'll be days where I won't read as much on the side, but I'm not too engaged right now with watching anything set up. I'm wondering what we do here at this 12 level though, but I'm not going to get in a hurry to take any kind of trades right here. With my stream, the main focal point is going to be psychology, managing ourselves, emotions. There's so many guys and hey, there's great traders out there who are watching the dome, flicker back and forth, and they're looking at delta. So with every bar, they're looking at how many aggressive buyers stepped in versus aggressive sellers. There's just a lot of data that they're processing, and that's legitimate. That's great. My style is a bit slower, a bit different, but I really want to have a channel that focuses on following the process well. That's the main thing. The main thing that I'll harp on is did you follow the process well? If you follow the process well, I feel like outcome will follow. All right, boys and girls, let's see if we rotate here. Feels like we could. Question is then, if we rotate here, what level do we go back down to? First target I would think would be like 02 to 3,900, but you'd want to watch the tempo and the pace that it does that. It could be that it comes down and we rotate somewhere back down into the opening range, or even a little bit lower. So let's watch and see. I really don't. Every now and then I kind of get an itch to trade a pre-market if there's a big news announcement, but I really don't. I don't trade pre-market. There are exceptions to the rule, but probably 90% of the time I don't trade it. So I start at the New York Open, which would be 9:30 Eastern time. I'm in Central time. I'm in Missouri. So my start is 8:30 in the morning Central time. Let's see here. Let's see what we do. I'm looking for a bit of a short. Not yet, though. Kumar, 30. Yeah, I mean, I think 38.83 could happen. Like, especially if today, in fact, is rotational, it could happen. However, we've got to keep in mind, oh, there's a nice move lower. Got to keep in mind that anything can happen and something will happen. Let's see, that could be the little move there. I'm going to try to sell a little bit right here based on there. Oh man, my fills are not great here, guys. I gotta tell you. So based on this little pop up and then fail, I'll look and see if this 02 and then a bit lower. All right, I just bought a little bit back there at 0.75. I'm still in 2/3 of it short. So that 0.3 I mentioned, when we were up here, I mentioned if we do go short, I'd be watching 0.3. Right now I'm not in big. When I sold short, I sold 30% of what I'll allow myself to trade. So I'm not going crazy with this guy. Let's see if in fact the market is rotational. And again, my data, it's on the 1 minute, nice little push lower and fail there. So again, I'm in short, I'm in pretty small. Scaled out some at 0.75. That was when I was talking about it up here. That was my first level. And we'll see what we do. See if the thesis is correct or not. So again, I'm in small enough on this one. Again, I'm only in 20% of what I'll allow myself to trade. I took a little bit of profit already, so if it like that's all right, I'll kind of stick with it, and it might be that at some point, if it's looking decent, I'll consider adding to it. Definite little battle zone is going to be this 12 area. At least in my opinion. So push down, pretty quick rejection there off of 03. Bears sold it and then bulls just, jammed it right back up. Getting back above or, testing that overnight high level. Got another 2 minutes until we get a new 15-minute bar. 5-minute bar, pretty quick recovery there. So we'll watch 12 here, see what they do, see if they push it above that. All right, pretty quick resumption there by the bulls. So there's 12, just on the short-term time frame. Came up to 12, popped it lower. Seems strong enough that it could push through it though, but we'll watch and see. See what the 5-minute is showing us. All right, another about a half a minute till we get a new 15-minute bar and a new 5-minute bar. And of course, a new 1-minute bar coming up on the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. I'm going to sell a little bit more up here. They sold off of that 12 just kind of quickly, but I'm just in 30% of what I'll allow myself to trade, so nothing too big. Let's see if bulls resume it to the upside. Looking like they will here. Question is, if they do, how far they push it up. Got another 2 minutes till we get a new 5-minute bar. My interweb, it must be the internet. It is a little bit wonky, just a little bit slow. Bulls kind of hanging in there so far. 12 is the battle zone. I feel like Bulls wanted above that 39.12. Looking like they're going to push it higher here. Let's see. I am short, not just in stature, but I'm short on the trade. So let's see. 10 to 12, battling a little bit. All right, almost got a new 5-minute bar. Let's see what they do. So far, Bears haven't been able to get it below this 39.09, that overnight high. We've pushed down, come up, we're holding above it now, and we'll see if we get any kind of continuation of the downside or what happens here. Watching the 5 minute. Let's see if we get any kind of continuation or follow through. Yeah, first level is going to be like 05. Then we'd like to see 04 to 03. See if we can't get a little push down lower. So shorting up at this level, I am of the conviction that we could have a rotational section of our day. Doesn't mean I don't know if we rotate the whole day, if we come back in, or if we continue and blast off higher. But We'll see. We'll try to take some profits below if we get below that. And again, I'm in 30% of what I'll allow myself to trade, so not too big of an amount. All right, looks like they're pushing it higher. Let's see what they do here. If we get up to 20, I'm going to bounce on this thing, get out. Pretty close here to hitting that stop. So in this one, if we're at 20, I don't want it. We have just charged and pushed higher. We got above that 12, so only reason for me to add more now would be if we come down and get below 12 and then continue lower. So put a line there at 12. Little stall here on 17 to 18. Let's see if we get a little rotation. See what we do. Let's see what we do. got another just over 2 minutes on the 5-minute bar. I'm going to sell a little bit more right here, actually. Looking for it to get below 12 to show weakness and then potential rotation. Kumar, good call there on the 17. We'll see if 17 holds or if it comes up and tests it, but there's certainly been some, some action taking place there at 17. No, I am short. All right, watching the 5-minute here. We've got another. What do we got? Minute to go on the 5-minute. Want to see where that guy ends. There we go. I'm going to sell a little bit more right here. So let's see, we pierced 12 here coming down. Let's see if we can then get through some of this congestion, and we'll see if today is in fact rotational in that regard. Again, above 20 and I don't want it. Got to keep in mind that anything can happen. Something will happen. So again, 20 is my level on this. If it's above 20, I don't want it. If it is rotational, I'm looking for a push down below this 12 level. So far we've come up. It feels like a bigger move than it is, but it's just slow. It's just kind of grinding up at this level. So came down to 12, pierced it. Something took place down there where it popped it back up, and now we'll see if we can't continue retracing and coming back in lower. My break even on this isn't great. It's at 39.10. So if we can push below that and get below it with some kind of conviction, I'll look to put my stop up a bit higher. It's a good enough area here. I'm going to lighten up just a little bit right here at break even. And that way, if we push up higher, I'll go ahead and add some more to the short side. So currently I'm in this thing, 40% of what I'll allow myself to trade. Got a little sloppy here. I thought we'd see a break. We pushed up, came down to here. So we'll see what we get now. Debating on if I want to keep my stop at 18 or 20, but that will be where it is at. One of those two. And we're just going to read the market, just again, like see what the market's showing us. See if my thesis is correct of it being a potentially rotational portion of the day. Doesn't mean the whole day has to be rotational. But the market, it did come down, it came down a decent ways, right? Came all the way down here, and then we've just been pushing up ever since. Keep in mind that something can happen, or anything can happen, and something will happen. Let's see if the bulls want it. Let me pull up NASDAQ here. Let's take a look at it. Just tune into NASDAQ, see what it's doing. NASDAQ looking pretty strong, truthfully. Go back to the S&P here. All right, let's see what they do here. And again, for me, my first trade was the trade of the day that I had a lot of conviction about, got involved with it to the short side, scaled out, and then here I've been just adding a little bit, took a little bit off the table here at 10, just wanted to lighten up, and I'm currently just in 40% of what I'll allow myself to trade. NASDAQ is strong, so I'm keeping that in mind, that potentially we just charge higher. Anyone else have any trades they're looking at, or anyone take one recently here? Anyone get long at 39.03 when we came to that level and then just quickly did an about face and turned right back around? And again, trading, it's not about having a crystal ball and knowing how every trade is going to go. It's about managing your risk well. It's about knowing which trades you want to lean into and really press, and then knowing which ones you just want to handle a little bit differently. So on this one, it did go up a little bit higher than I was anticipating, and it still could go up way higher still. I've got stops above here right at 39.20. Like to see it stay below that. I did scale out, lighten up at 39.10, which was my break-even point. And now I'm holding 40% of what I'll allow myself to trade, seeing if my thesis is correct, if today is rotational. It, of course, is anyone's guess. It's hard to say, right? Kumar says it can go up to 39.60. It certainly can. I'm looking at the gap down that we had on, looks like June 10th, and the high of that day was 39.60. So it certainly could just push up. Looking at the daily, let me drag this in the screen here. Looking at our daily, so with the data that we have being about 2 hours into the day, could be quite bullish. Could be that was the push down, and then we just continue higher up. Could be that we come back in here and try to go down to 39.01, or maybe even a little bit lower still. We'll have to see. So again, in trading, Mark Douglas will say that you don't have to know what's going to happen to make money. That's the nice thing about it. We don't have to know, and we can't know. We can't know all the time. So could the market come down and test opening range at 38.92? It certainly could. Could the market go ahead and blast off and just be super strong and get us up to 39, 40s or 50s? It certainly could. Certainly could. We just want to protect ourselves accordingly. So it's kind of like insurance, right? Like if you're trading and you don't have a stop in place, it'd be like someone who's a lion tamer who doesn't have good insurance. Or if you're the Tiger King, Joe Exotic, you better at least have a gun on you, right? That was his insurance. I got a gun. These tigers, I love them. I'm weird like that. Tigers are my life. That's what I do. But I'm going to have a gun on my side just in case the tiger decides he wants to eat me. And I think it's the same way with managing our stops. That, hey, I've got this thesis. I've got, the market setting up. I think it could do this, that, or the other. But just in case, I could be wrong. I'm going to have a stop in place. I'm going to monitor what's going on. Good to be mindful of that, right? Okay, again, my hard stop's 39.20. Looking pretty strong, like it wants to just resume trend here. Really don't see any reason why it wouldn't at this point. All right, I'm pretty close here. All right, folks, I'm out. I'm done. Make sure that order went through. There we go. Kumar says 17. I see, Kumar. I got you. Let's watch. I do like that 17 level. I might try to add here against 22 shortly. Not just yet. Okay. Give it one more I'm in 30%. Just going to give it one more shot here. See if we don't pull in a little bit. I personally would just be surprised if the Bulls just run this thing. Stranger things have happened. Got another minute till we get a new 5-minute bar. 5 minute is just kind of marching up. I'm short here at 18.5. We'll watch and see how this 5 minute plays out though. Oh, I'm just all in at 39.18.5. Short. Looking to see if we can't get 12. Still got a few more minutes till we complete this 5 minute bar. Nasdaq's come in a little bit. Nothing really notable though. I won't give this one too much wiggle room, I don't think. So still just pushing up higher. The Bulls are still pushing up. Got 2 minutes to go on the 5 minute bar. See what we do, see if they stay strong. Just keep charging higher. One more minute to go on the 5-minute. Let's see what they do. Let's see if the bulls resume trend. Or continue on the trend. Yeah, no rotation yet, that's for sure. NASDAQ, haven't had a break in NASDAQ. It's still just hanging tough. Yeah, this is going to be it for me, Kumar. This is it. I'm going to sell. I'll try selling a little bit more right here. I'm in 40%. Absolutely, Kumar. If I get a loss, that's all good, baby. It's all good. So NASDAQ didn't really pull in much. S&P just kind of hanging out here. I'm in 40% of what I'll allow myself to short. I got a tight leash on this thing though. I'm looking for it to rotate back, looking for 39.12 would be first target. And then from there, we'll see if we can't pull in a little bit more. But market is, it's looking strong. There's Kumar's 39.17 level that we're getting close to. So we'll see what we do at that. Well, we got 17 there, so let's see if we can't push lower now. NASDAQ's come in a little bit, but not too much. However, I think I'm going to stick with this one and see if we can't ride it down a little bit lower. I want to read what the market's doing, though. Don't want to be... don't want to be seeing things that aren't there. That's never any good. So here's the 1 minute on the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ, pulling a little bit, but not much. It's just drifting, floating higher. Here's the 5 minute on the NASDAQ as well. So wondering if we don't come in a little bit more, which I think is a possibility. Looking for 12 here. There we go. I'm gonna buy some here at 14 actually. All right, I'm still in I'm still in 75% of this trade. Scaled out just a little bit at 14. 12 was my target. We'll see if we can't rotate downward a little bit. NASDAQ is selling off a little bit, but it really hasn't come in too much. Baby is coming. We'll see. We'll see, Mr. Kumar. So looking for 12. Next, we'll look for potentially the overnight high here. So I'm gonna stop on this one, shooting for 21. And as I mentioned, this is going to be it for me. So on that one, when I got short at 18.5, it was, this was it for me, win or lose. Had a really nice trade earlier in the day within the first 25 minutes. Took profit on it well. Second trade, got short here, lightened up on it here at 39.10, which was my break even, and then stopped me out. So that one wasn't as good. Was looking for some kind of rotation for the day. And I think potentially we may have gotten it up here. Maybe not. I'm still looking. NASDAQ hasn't really sold off much. And E-mini is just kind of floating higher, just doing its thing. So we'll see if we can't come in a little bit more. Take a little bit more profit. So now let me pull up NASDAQ. NASDAQ's still just kind of hovering, like came down a little bit, but hasn't really sold off much. So here's that one. Let's go back to the E-mini, pull up our guy. I'm going to scale a little bit more out here at 14. Come on. That chart seemed to be a little frozen. There we go, there's our 12 level. Looking to see if we get 12. We're close. All right, I'm still in half of this guy, and looking for 19. No, I'm not done, Kumar. I'm still in it. I'm still holding half. Debating on whether to put yeah, so that, we're getting a little bounce off of that level. I think I'll put my my stop up here around like 21 potentially. Okay, so I'm out of half of this thing. I was short at 18.5, got out of some at 14, then it came down, got out at 14 again, or 14.5, and we'll see if we can't get a little bit of continuation. The trend is higher, that is for sure. We do have some good support at 39.10. Definitely got support here at 39.03. Mr. Azad, I'm in Springfield, Missouri. Here we go. Let's see if we can push through 12. So that is our area of contention. If we can get through 12, I think we could. We'll see. We'll see what we do. Don't want to see it stay above 12 for too long. So on the I'm out a half, and then the other half I'm just gonna hold here against this 20 level. Wrap it up for me here pretty soon, guys. Patience is a virtue, right? There's the 12 level I was talking about. Let's see if we can get 10 down here. If we get down to this 10, this 09 area, I'll look to pull the stop, pull my the half that I got on the stop to like 19 or 18.5, which 18.5 is where my entry is. What kind of helmet do I show? I don't even know what kind that is. I've got what's called an electric unicycle, and it's kind of like a Segway, but there's guys who have like cool helmets like that. I don't own the helmet. I just saw a picture. I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. But I'm working on I've got a logo drawn up. I've got to just get somebody to digitize it to put it in digital form. All right, boys and girls, let's see if we push lower here, if we hold 12. I'll probably scale out just a little bit more at 10 or close to it. Where are we at here? All right, so I'm out of just a little bit more there at 10.5. All right, so I was in half of the original position. I'm in 30%. Oh, that's really nice. I really like that. I'm gonna buy a little bit back right there. I think that went through. Should have. There we go. screen is frozen a little bit here. I've got stuff pulled up on my phone, which isn't ideal. Let me transfer over sometimes if I... Yeah, again, it could be my streaming internet or something. Okay, so I scaled out of a little bit at 10, a little bit more there at 07.5, and I'm still holding 30% of the original position. I'm going to buy just a little bit more back right there as well. So I'm in now, what is it, 20% of my original position. And I'll see if we can't hold it. I'll see if we can't break through. Break through this 3903. And the stop at this point is going to be, we'll put it just to break even here. It's funky. Funky stuff. I'll put it at 17. All right. Well, boys and girls, I am done for the day. Yep, I've got that little runner on. I'll see if we can hit range somewhere. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Again, with trading, we don't have to know what's going to happen to make money. If you knew it was going to happen, then shoot, place one trade and you're done. You're good for the rest of your life. You're set. We never know for sure. We're just dealing with probabilities, and we're trying to play the edges that we have. We certainly want to protect ourselves from trades that we put on and have our stop losses in place. It's important to do. So again, I'm in just a little bit. And let's see. Just going to set my stop at the appropriate place. And even that one, if it comes up to it, it'll lock in a little bit of profit for me. All right. Well, guys, I hope you have a great weekend. Hope you trade well. Protect yourselves. 10:51. Yeah, I got to be wrapping up here. Yeah, have a great weekend. I'll be back Monday, and we'll do it all again. We'll see you later. Take care.